they censored me a little bit because they didn't want me telling my side of the story, so it would fit their narrative a little bit more.
Okay. I think we know who
So
they is then.
yeah, yeah. So it's like one of those things where I saw some of my castmates getting these opportunities. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then eventually I started getting the opportunities directly, and I would be like, hey, so, did you go through this other avenue at all? And they're like, yeah, they just said Shake is no longer doing press. And so they would just tell all these different podcasts and like
Oh God, which is
other
not
types
true.
of media. Yeah. So that's a
Damn.
weird thing that I learned through this whole process is yeah, some of that is pretty contrived and controlled. So
A smoke screen, as we call it. You know.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited to be talking to you, man. I mean, like I said to you a second ago, off air, is one of the things that I'm always curious about when I watch some of these reality shows is how do they cast this? Like, how do people get on it? So I'd like to start with that, just to get an idea. Where did this all begin? So way before the filming, what got you on this show?
So essentially, I got a message on Instagram, is what it boils down to. I got a message, and the person was somewhat familiar with who I was already, and said, hey, we heard from someone else that you'd be a great fit for this, and we saw your profile. You have a great job. You're good looking. Blah blah blah. All the stuff to flatter me. To get me interested, and it just so happened to be during a vulnerable time of my life. I had just gone through a breakup, actually,
Okay.
a breakup in which I had been cheated on, and that kind of thing is hard for your confidence, your self-image, that kind of thing is it shakes you up a little bit. So when somebody came in here saying, "Hey, we want you on this TV show," and all these nice things, I was in kind of a spot to receive that. I don't know if I would have said yes in another scenario, but I think it was kind of the perfect situation for them to reach out during.
Yeah, it all just kind of lined up. Okay.
Yeah.
So you said yes, obviously.
I did, yeah. So they asked me to do a series of Zoom meetings with various producers, and they seemed pretty confident right from the start. They were like, "Yeah, we're pretty sure we're gonna be moving forward with you." Like, how you do a job interview and you can like tell if it's going well, type of thing, and
Yeah.
it was one of those things, and they're pretty much like, yeah, I would be pretty surprised if you didn't end up on the show. So, and then I kind of just, I don't know, kind of went with it from there. It was during the pandemic, so the filming actually got quite a bit postponed because of that.
Oh.
And that was a weird situation because it's like, hey, you've agreed to be on the show. So it's like you can't really date anybody else, or in a sense it's like almost unethical to kind of date somebody else during that time when things are up in the air. Ultimately, I guess if I had met somebody really special, I could have backed out. And there was a situation where I had to think about it. I'm like, I like this person I'm seeing, but will I regret now not going on this show because of this? Like, you have to kind of decide, like, hey, is this person worth kind of giving up this other opportunity? Obviously, I ended up taking the opportunity and going forward
Right.
with that route.
And what happened? So what happened to that woman?
Well, so it's interesting because, Love is Blind is a show where you're supposed to put the physical attributes to the side, or at least on the back burner, right? And this other individual was somebody where it was kind of the opposite way around. You know, it was more of a physical type relationship without a ton of the deeper stuff. And after my Love is Blind experience, which I think everyone probably knows by now, you know, it didn't end in marriage. You know, I kind of just 180'd back briefly to that very physically, you know, focused relationship, we'll say. Yeah. And it didn't work out the second time either. And it was probably because, you know, even though the experiment didn't work out for me in the sense of I didn't get married on the show, it did affect me in a lot of ways. It really made me get clear on what I wanted and realize what I appreciated. So when I went back to that individual, it was fun for a while because, you know, that physical part was there. And it just didn't last very long because I knew that, all right, the emotional connection, the deep connection is important to me now more than ever after having put so much emphasis on it during the show. So it didn't last very long. And now I'm with somebody where I have both, the emotional and the physical. So it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It worked out.